Hello sports fans, welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we're going to be my Week 2 USFL predictions. So last week I had a record of 4-0, and that brings my record on the season to obviously 4-0 as last week was Week 1. Starting off this week on Saturday's games, we've got the Breakers hosting the Gamblers. So, the Gamblers were awful in their Week 1 loss to the Panthers. Now, they did make a big move throughout the week in bringing in Isaiah Zuber, who was the team's leading receiver last season, and they signed him after their Week 1 loss. And he was the team's leading receiver last season with 322 yards and 5 touchdowns. And he should really help the offense and give quarterback Kenji Pahara a go-to option on the outside. For the Breakers, they got off to a slow start last week, but ended up getting the win over the Maulers. And their defense was spectacular, especially their pass defense, which held the Maulers to just 37% passing and also 81 passing yards. So I would expect another great defensive performance from the Breakers, and I would expect a great all-around game because the Gamblers' defense isn't any good, and their team isn't any good, so I have the Breakers dominating every aspect of this game, beating a bad Gamblers team by a score of 30-12. Next game, we've got the Stallions hosting the Showboats. So the Stallions have a ton of injuries, and the big one here is quarterback Jamar Smith, who's out for the remainder of the season after he had surgery on his injured left ring finger. They're also without Marwin Williams, who is out for the year with a torn Achilles. Other players on the injury report and out this week for the Stallions: running back Bo Scarborough, quarterback JoJo Tillery, linebacker Scooby Wright, defensive lineman Joe Johnson, and fullback Bobby Holly. So a bunch of injuries for the Stallions. Those are just the guys that are out. There's a whole bunch of players who are listed on the injury report but expected to play. Now, I still think the Stallions should be okay, even though all their injuries, and especially I think they should be okay at quarterback because I'm a huge fan of Alex Magoo, and I think he's going to be fantastic for them at quarterback. Although he can be a bit reckless at times, I think the Stallions will be perfectly fine with Magoo at quarterback. And the Stallions also have other good players that can replace the current injured players. Like, they're going to be without Bo Scarborough, but they've got a good other running back in CJ Marable. They've got other good receivers. And last week, defensively, they were already without JoJo Tillery and Scooby Wright for most of the game. So I do think this changes things for the Stallions, especially with the Jamar Smith injury, but I still think they're going to be okay. And I still think they should be one of the top teams in the USFL. For the Showboats, they had a good first week, especially defensively, as they had 5 sacks, but this could be a closer game because of the Stallions' injuries, but I still think the Stallions will be able to get the win, and they will defeat the Showboats by a score of 28-24. Moving to the games on Sunday, first we've got the Generals against the Maulers. So both these teams lost in Week 1 and are looking to get their first win of the season. The Generals are coming off a loss to the Stallions and really did not look good offensively. For the Maulers, they were also terrible offensively, but they had a great defensive performance against the Breakers, although they ended up losing. For the Generals, they need to figure out quarterback, whether that's Dakota Prukop or DeAndre Johnson. And the Generals, they might need good quarterback play this week to get the win because they face a good Maulers defensive front, so the Generals might not be able to run the football, and they might need to rely on the passing attack a bit. For the Maulers, they also need good quarterback play, or just better quarterback play than last week where they had only 81 passing yards. And now they have to figure out who their quarterback is, whether it's Troy Williams or James Morgan. But I would expect this to be a lower scoring game between two good defenses, but I've got the Generals picking up their first win of the season with a 20-16 win over the Maulers. And our final game of the week, we've got the Panthers against the Stars. So this should be a really, really good and exciting game. Both teams had great performances in Week 1, and especially the Panthers, they had a really good game against, it was against a bad Gamblers team, but I think they are still a good team. They had a great performance offensively and defensively. And for the Stars, they also had a good performance, but they really need to make sure they're going to protect quarterback Case Cookus this week. Because last week, he was sacked 4 times. And now the Stars go up against the Panthers, who had 5 sacks in Week 1, including 3 from Week 1 Defensive Player of the Week, Breland Sparks. So protecting Case Cookus will be crucial to the Stars' offensive success. So I think this game could go either way. I think it'll be a very interesting, fun, high-scoring, entertaining game. I could see an upset here because of how good the Panthers were in Week 1, but I think we're going to learn a lot about the Panthers this week and how good they really are, as they face a very good Stars team, and I think the Stars will just narrowly beat their division rival in the Panthers, and they will win this game by a score of 28-25. So those are my Week 2 USFL predictions. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of their upcoming videos. I do my best to post as often as possible. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with my predictions, disagree, and why. I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.